in this lecture we are going to discuss about the design of masonry structures, which is a part of your structural design 2 subject of the civil engineering course. And in this lecture we will discuss about the design of masonry structures, that means the design of various elements which are made up of masonry structures. So in this introduction phase, a masonry structure is an assemblage of masonry units or blocks properly added together with mortar. That means mortar is a governing element. So the masonry units generally are solid or perforated bricks or stones, concrete blocks or lime based blocks or burnt clay hollow blocks which are completely hollow inside. So in briefly we can say the masonry structure is an assemblage of masonry units or blocks which are properly added by means of mortar. And in this lecture we are going to cover the chapters, that means design of masonry walls, design of masonry columns, design of masonry piers, which are raised structures used to support the span of the bridges, and the buttresses, design of masonry buttresses which are used to support the walls, and the design of masonry wall footings, and which is used to transfer the load from the superstructure to the soil substrata. So first of all, the design of masonry wall. So in this design of masonry wall, two kinds of walls are there. One is load bearing, another is non-load bearing. So in this load bearing part, the wall is designed to carry an imposed vertical load in addition to its own weight. That means in addition to its dead load, it has to carry the live load. And in case of non-load bearing wall, the wall that does not resist or support any load such that it can be removed with the approval of the structural engineer without jeopardizing integrity of the remaining structure. That means no live load is there in non-load bearing wall. It is only used for separation purpose. So first we will discuss load bearing walls. In case of masonry structure, these walls are mainly constructed of load. The walls are mainly constructed of load bearing walls, and these walls used to transfer gravity as well as lateral loads. That means vertical load as well as horizontal load. While transferring design loads, the masonry is subjected to mainly compressive, tensile as well as shear stresses, which should be within the permissible limits, and the wall should not buckle or overturn. That means for safety purpose, these compressive, tensile and shear stresses should be within the permissible limits. So what are the design loads for this design of load bearing walls? So the design loads are mainly of two types, that is gravity load or vertical loads. The vertical load comprises of dead load, that means self weight, and weight of superstructure, and the live loads, that means the live load of the superstructure. It will vary from structure to structure, and the lateral loads or horizontal loads. So these are the accidental loads, that means throughout its design period, the accidental loads may or may not come, and the wind load, loads coming due to wind pressure, and the earthquake load, loads arising due to seismic accelerations. So these are the codal provisions from IS code 1905/1987. So for the design of load bearing walls, we will use table 4, table 5, table 6 and table 7. So table 4 is in page 11, table 5 is in 13, and table 6 is in 14, and table 7 is in page 15 of the IS code, that is 1905/1987. So we will solve a numerical here, and the numerical is about the design of a load bearing wall. So you can go through the problem statement very clearly, which is visible to you in the television screen. And as per the problem statement, a hall of center to center dimensions 10 meter into 20 meter with a clear height of 5.8 meter up to the bottom of the slab is to be constructed with load bearing masonry walls using modular bricks. So from the problem statement it is very clear that the question is from the load bearing wall. and the roof consists of RCC T beams of dimension 40 centimeter into 80 centimeter with RCC slab of 12 centimeter thick, beams being at 5 meter center to centers, height of plinth above foundation footing is 0.9 meter. So it has been asked to determine minimum thickness of walls from slenderness consideration. So assuming the slenderness ratio, we will design the wall. So again go through the problem statement. So from the statement we know, you can see here the diagram. So there is a hall of dimension 10 meter into 20 meter, and the clear height is 5.8 meter. So clear height means the height from the top of the footing to the bottom of the slab, and RCC T beams are 40 to 80 centimeter with RCC slab of 12 centimeter thick. That means the T beams are monolithically casted. That means casted at a time with the RCC slab, and the beams are at 5 meter center to center distance. That means there are 3 beams. So 4 span. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 span. So this is 5, 10, 15 and 20. So this is total 20 meter and this is total 10 meter. So we will draw the section in both XX and YY. So then we will proceed to the solution. So I have drawn the section XX from the previous drawing, and in this you can see there are 3 T beams. There are 3 T beams which are monolithic with the slab, and these are the walls, and this is the plinth level. And as per the problem statement, the height from the top of the footing to the plinth level is 0.9 meter. You can see above foundation footing, and here this is RCC footing, this is brick, and this is also brick wall. This is RCC slab of thickness 12 centimeter thick, and the T-beam thickness is 80 centimeter, which is monolithic also. So I am showing another section which is section YY, and here this is the plinth level. So you can see the beam will be visible from this, and the dimension is same. The dimension is same in both x axis and y axis. So we will now solve the problem. So first we have to calculate the long wall. So the long wall, and then we have to go to the short wall. So in the long wall, the height of the wall between center of supports, h. So how to calculate h? This h has been calculated using this table 4 of the IS 1905 1987 code. So how to calculate this h? So here 0.9. So 0.9 is the distance from the top of the footing to the plinth level. Then 5.8. 5.8 is the clear height as given in the question. And 0.12 is the slab thickness. You can see here 12 centimeter is taken in meter, that is 0.12 meter, and we have to deduct. What we have to deduct? That 0.8 by 2, that means this is 80 centimeter, this is 80 centimeter, and the code suggests that we have to take the distance from the mid, that means from the middle of this T-beam, as it is monolithic. So 0.9 plus 5.8 plus 0.12, and we have to deduct 0.8 by 2, and the result is coming 6.42 meter. So this is the height. So now we have to calculate the effective height of the wall. To calculate the effective height, we have to go to the table 4. So you can see in table 4, if we are considering the RCC floor or RCC slab, and in this case one end is fully restrained and another edge, another part is lateral restrained. So in this case the effective height of the wall will be 0.85 times the height. So in that formula we have replaced this h as 6.42 meter, and the effective height h is coming 5.457 meter, and the wall is supported by cross walls. That means you can see here one wall is crossing another, so we have to calculate the cross wall, and this cross wall dimension will be 2 times of this wall thickness. So the wall is supported by cross walls at each end, and the effective length of the wall is the center to center distance between the cross walls, and the code suggests in table 5 how to calculate the effective length of the wall. And you can see here where a wall is supported at each end by cross wall. So from the problem statement we know that the wall is supported at each end by cross wall, and for cross wall the effective length is 1 L. So you can see here the effective length is calculated as 20 meter. So now for slenderness ratio, the slenderness ratio with respect to height of the wall will govern the thickness, and the permissible slenderness ratio using cement mortar. You can see table 6 of your IS 1905 code, sorry, table 7. Table 7, the minimum slenderness ratio is 27. The minimum slenderness ratio, the maximum slenderness ratio is 27. So taking the maximum one, the slenderness ratio, it has been taken here that 27. So stiffness coefficient from table 6 is assumed to be Kn equals to 1, and the slenderness ratio is h by t into Kn. So h by t into Kn is 27. We have assumed this number. That means t from this equation, t is h by 27 into 1, which is coming 20.2 centimeter. So this is the thickness of the long wall we are calculating. So now we have to calculate the thickness of the short wall from that slenderness consideration. So in the short wall we have to again calculate the height. So in the short wall, what will be deducted? So in the short wall, see here, this 0.9 plus 5.8 plus 0.12 by 2, and if I will draw section YY, this is the T-beam. Section YY, and you can see here, this is 5.8 meter. This is 5.8 meter from the plinth level to the bottom of the slab, and 12 centimeter is the slab thickness. So see here how to calculate the height h. 0.9 plus 5.8 plus 0.12 by 2. That means from the center we have to calculate the height. That the total is 0.12, and from the center it will be 0.12 by 2. 0.9 plus 5.8 plus 0.12 by 2, and the result is coming 6.76 meter. So in this case, from the table we have calculated the h, that is 0.75 of the total height, and 0.75 times 6.76 is coming 5.07 meter. So from the table we have calculated this. It is also supported by cross walls at each end. So as in this case, the effective length will be same as the length, which will be 10 meter. So here the slenderness ratio also assumed to be 27. The stiffening coefficient is coming Kn equals to 1. So how to calculate the required thickness of the wall? So from this consideration we will calculate the thickness of the wall, putting the value of slenderness ratio as 27. So T is coming h by 27 into Kn, that is 1, and which is 5.07 divided by 27, and the result is coming 18.7 centimeter. So here the wall thickness is coming 18.7 centimeter in short wall, and in case of long wall it is coming 20.2 centimeter. So therefore, using modular bricks, the minimum thickness of the wall to be adopted equals to 30 centimeter nominal size, giving actual wall thickness. So generally we adopt wall thickness of 30 centimeter. And how to calculate this effective wall thickness? So in most of the cases in masonry construction we use English bond. So in this English bond of bricks, the bricks are laid like this. There is a gap. This gap is of 1 centimeter is kept for the mortar joints. So you can see here 1 centimeter is deducted. So if this is 30, that means if this is 30 and deducting this mortar thickness, the effective thickness is coming 29 centimeter, which is greater than 20.2 centimeters. Also it will be greater than 18.7 centimeter. That means the effective thickness is more than the thickness we need to design. So with this thickness, the question is asking the thickness of the wall only. So with this the design is completed. Now we have to check for the assumed value of stiffening coefficient. We have considered stiffening coefficient as 1, and you can see here For long wall, we have to check the stiffening coefficient once, and for short wall, we have to check once. So in long wall, the center to center spacing SP is 20 meter, and the actual thickness of the wall is 0.29 meter. That means deducting 1 centimeter, it is coming 0.29 meter, and the ratio of SP by WP is coming 68.97, which is greater than 20. From the Codal provision, it is greater than 20. And since cross walls are equivalent to pairs of width equal to thickness of cross wall, the TP is coming. I have shown here, TP is the thickness of the cross wall, which is, this is 0.29, and this is also 0.29. So 0.29 plus 0.29 is coming 0.58 meter, and TW is the actual thickness of the wall, which is 0.29 meter, and the ratio of TP by TW is coming 2. And here from the Codal provision, if TP by TW is 2 and the minimum stiffening coefficient is 1. So from the table 6 we have taken this. So for the short wall, again the center to center spacing of wall SP is 10 meter, and the actual thickness of the cross wall is 0.29 meter, and the ratio of SP by WP is again coming 34.28, which is greater than 20. So we are in safe side. So similar to long wall, the TP by TW is 2, and for TP by TW ratio 2, the minimum value of stiffening coefficient from table 6 is 1. So whatever we have assumed for the design, that is the value of Kn is 1, is satisfied. That means our assumption is correct. So with this, the design of load bearing wall is completed. So in the next class we will study the design of columns. So as the communication is a one-way process, if you have any doubts in this lecture, you can contact me. So your queries are invited. You can text me through WhatsApp. So here is the WhatsApp number in the television screen. Also you can email me. Thank you.
स्कूल छोड़े हुए 2 साल हो गए यार, अभी तक कॉलेज का नामो निशान नहीं है। कम से कम फेल हो जाते तो स्कूल में ही रहते।
सही बोल रहा है यार तू, यहाँ तो रोज़ रोज़ बाप के डंडे खाने पड़ते हैं।
एक तरफ बाप और एक तरफ किस्मत, दोनों तरफ से तो डंडे पड़ रहे। ज़िंदगी तो ख़त्म सी लग रही है।
ज़िंदगी का तो पता नहीं, लेकिन ये मूंगफली ज़रूर ख़त्म हो गई है। ये ले, लास्ट है। देख देख,
तू भिड़ जा, तू लड़ जा, तू अड़ जा, तू कर जा, झूम झूम के घुमा तेरा हुनर का ये डंडा। नहीं है तो पकड़, नहीं है घुमाकड़, अगर मगर मकर तू तो टक्कर का है बंदा। गिरेगा तू, फंसेगा तू, रुकेगा चल।
बेटा, कोशिश करने वालों की ना हार नहीं होती।
तू भिड़ जा, तू लड़ जा, तू अड़ जा, तू कर जा, झूम झूम के घुमा तेरा हुनर का ये डंडा। देखो लोकंकर काम हैला कथा हेबे कला कौशल नुआ सृष्टिर से मजा नेबे। तमे हेलो गोटे अतांक बड़ी हजार हेबे, सीए प्रजा किंतु तमे सब रजा हबो। जीवन तो गोटे स्वप्न वास्तव तार जे स्वप्न रु उठे, सब किछि संभव विथ काम आ कौशल। जीतिगिरी मिले बहु बड़ी बड़ी बहु बड़, तू करी जा, तू लड़ी जा, तू बड़ धन, तू हेलो स्किल देन ओडिसा। तू करी जा, तू लड़ी जा, तू बड़ी जा धन, तू हेलो स्किल देन ओडिसा। स्किल देन ओडिसा, स्किल देन ओडिसा, yeah, स्किल देन ओडिसा धन, तू हेलो स्किल देन ओडिसा। दुनिया वाला तू मिला तो ये खोलेगी, तेरा राजू पे ये तोलेगी, हर मौके पे ये टोकेगी। करना फिकर बस अब आगे तो बढ़, किस्मत को खोस मत, साथ है हुनर। जो करना है कर, अब भुला दे तू डर, आसमां को छू ले फैला के तू पर। सुनो सुनो देखो कथा हबाकू अनेक लोक आज दुनिया रे, किंतु लाभ कौन तुमको ताको कथा सुनी बारे। बुझो एई कथा की तो चढ़ई दौड़ी चले जाकी पचारे मोना कौन ओडिसा रे। तमे हेलो ओडिसार कौशल भूली बनी, तमे हेलो ओडिसार कौशल। बयस रे कम किंतु हब तमे बहु बड़, तमे सब कर ओडिसा को गौरव। तू करी जा, तू लड़ी जा, तू बड़ धन, तू हेलो स्किल देन ओडिसा। तू करी जा तू लड़ी जा तू बड़ी जा धन तू हेलु skilled in Odisha skilled in Odisha skilled in Odisha yeah skilled in Odisha धन तू हेलु skilled in Odisha झूम झूम के घुमा तेरा हुनर का ये डंडा हुनर का ये डंडा झूम झूम के घुमा तेरा हुनर का ये डंडा skilled in Odisha तू करी जा तू लड़ी जा तू बड़ी धन तू हेलु skilled in Odisha तू करी जा तू लड़ी जा तू बड़ी जा धन तू हेलु skilled in